Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Klamath Falls Falcons baseball on 104.3, 960 Sports, and MyBasin.com. The Klamath Falls Falcons road trip continues up I-5 today. We find ourselves here at Stevenson Field on the campus of Philomath High School as the Falcons take on the Philomath Fighting Jays. My name is Josh Eldridge. So glad to be along with you today. It's a wonderful afternoon for baseball. It's about 82 degrees as we near first pitch here today. It's going to get a little chilly tonight, a little chillier than the Falcons might be used to after playing in the 90-degree heat the last couple of days. It is going to be about 75 midway through this game tonight. It'll be a great evening for baseball. The Falcons looking to extend their winning streak today to a fine 8 games as they enter 10-1 today against the Philomath Fightin' Jays, who are 2-3. First meeting of the season, only meeting of the season between these two teams as we are on the road here at Stevenson Field. We're going to step aside as we get ready for first pitch. We'll introduce you to the starting lineups when we come back after 2 minutes on 104.3, 960 Sports, and MyBasin.com.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Oregon, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
What are your goals? To get stronger, move better, feel healthy?
Josh Eldridge back with you here on 104.3, 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. Apologies to cut that a bit short, but it looks like we're nearly ready for first pitch today from Stevenson Field at Philomath High School. Let's go ahead and introduce you today's starting lineups, and we'll begin with the visiting Klamath Falls Falcons. Leading off for them, the shortstop Carson Sims. Colin Tacchini bats second, the designated hitter, followed by Jacoby Tacchini, the catcher, batting third. Hitting fourth is Ian Meyer at first base. Corbin Hamilton, the left fielder, bats fifth. Hitting sixth is the third baseman, P.J. Safford. Trustin Thomas is in right field, batting seventh. Ty Teeters, the second baseman, hits eighth, and rounding out the Falcons' order, batting ninth, is the center fielder, Harley Hoblet. On the mound today for the Falcons is Hayden Poor. He's going up against a Fightin' Jays order that goes like this, with the center fielder Parker Harwood leading off. Jace Iverson is the shortstop, batting second. Hitting third is Gavin Bennett, the right fielder. The pitcher Cameron Kavit is batting cleanup today, followed by Jace Altishon, the left fielder. Cam Herbert is batting sixth. He's catching. Mason Bennett at third base, hitting seventh. Batting eighth is Nate Arnn, the first baseman, and Eli Moravez is the second baseman. He bats ninth for the Fightin' Jays today as we are ready to get going. Just a minute past our scheduled start time today as Carson Sims digs into the right-handed batter's box. The Falcons in their blues today, the new blue uniforms with KF written across their left-hand shoulder and white numbers across their backs. The Philomath Fightin' Jays today in their black uniforms with yellow text across the front and the Pittsburgh Pirates logo on their caps. First pitch was called a strike to Sims. He then watches one miss outside. So as we get things going, the count is 1-1 to Carson Sims. It's a lot of baseball in not so long of a time for the Falcons this week. It is game yesterday in Grants Pass, a game today, of course, here at Philomath, games tomorrow, one game in Eugene, then to Salem on Thursday before playing in Roseburg on Friday. So quite the swing here for the Falcons this week. As Sims is ahead in the count here, 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 pitch is looked at off the plate away. The count to the Falcons' leadoff hitter is 3-1. Road trips like this can help you try to find a rhythm, and for Sims, an 0 for day yesterday, although he did lay down a sacrifice, and he takes a strike here. Thought it was a walk. Instead, the count's full, 3-2. The Falcons as a team, though, producing well yesterday, taking advantage of a couple of errors, but finishing with double-digit hits in the win against Grants Pass at Grants Pass High School yesterday. And just continuing to try to play well on this road swing. As Sims lifts the ball into center field, Harwood is going to watch that one sail over his head and to the wall. Sims digging for 2. He's going to burn around second and head for third. The throw is going to come late. Sims is in for a leadoff triple standing. The first hit of the ball game, first at bat. It brings up Colin Takini. Golden opportunity after Sims' triple there. Off the bat, didn't look like it had much to it, but it just kept on carrying. The wind is blowing out towards center field, if not center left field. 353 straightaway center field, 330 down either line as Carson Sims blasts his first triple of the summer and sets up Colin Takini with an RBI opportunity and nobody out. First pitch is off speed and away. The count is 1-0 to Colin Takini. Colin yesterday was absent from the starting lineup, but back in today as he takes that pitch low and probably a touch outside. Count is 2-0. Last time Colin Takini was in the lineup was actually the opener against Phoenix and singled in that contest. Took a couple of games off, but he is back. The 2-0 pitch is waved at and missed. 2 balls and a strike to Colin Takini. Getting the start today as the team's designated hitter. And again, Jacoby Takini is on deck for the Falcons. Runner at third and nobody out. Here's the pitch from Kavit. That one is lifted right side. A lot of foul territory here to contend with at Stevenson Field, but then that one bends back into fair territory and off the glove of the second baseman Moraves. His throw home is not going to get Sims, and it is going to be a error allowing Takini to reach and Sims scoring on the same play. Falcons are up 1-0 here early, and they've got a runner aboard at first, still with nobody out. That one looked like it was going to go foul for sure. The first baseman He went about halfway deep into foul territory before, again, that wind that's blowing out towards left center field took control of that baseball, blew it back fair, and then the second baseman had to react, try to make a play on it, no chance. And so it hit his glove, fair and square, bounced in and out, even if it was a tough one to react to. I think you give it the error there, and it brings up Jacoby Takini, although a couple of checks on Colin at first. Jacoby's yet to see his first pitch of this at-bat. See how the official scorer did it? Yeah. They charged the error there to the right fielder. I thought it might have been the second baseman who got the glove on it, but I'll change the error to the right fielder so we're all consistent. First pitch to Takini was going to miss, and the count to him is 1-0. Talked a little bit about the Falcons' schedule and how busy that is. Coming up, it's the same for this Philomath Fighting Jays squad made up of players from right here at Philomath High School. Hold that thought. Takini blasts one center field. That one is carrying deep to left, and it's off the base of the wall. Colin Takini rounding second and headed for third. They're going to hold him up there. Jacoby in with a standing double, and 2 men are in scoring position for Ian Meyer. So Jacoby into second. We'll see if they're going to get a runner out there for him or if they allow him to stand out there in scoring position. Again, Colin got all the way to third base, so here comes Ian Meyer. As I was saying, it was a loss to North Marion the last time out for the Fighting Jays, a 6-8 loss there, and the game before against Junction City. But the schedule really kicks into high gear for Philomath coming up over this week. They play, of course, us today, West Albany tomorrow. The first pitch to Meyer misses way outside. A good job by Herbert, the catcher, to not allow that one to get to the short backstop here at Stevenson Field. And I mean short as in there's a lot of real estate between home plate and the backstop, but the backstop itself is physically short. It's only about like 3 2x4s tall stacked on top of each other. Ian Meyer lifts one into foul territory on the right side. Again, the wind commanding that one to blow back towards the left of the first baseman. Didn't have a play on it. And the count to Ian Meyer is a ball and a strike. After West Albany, they play again on Friday this week, Saturday, Sunday, and then Tuesday again. So they play the bulk of their schedule in July as opposed to the Falcons who pretty much split it up evenly. There's a lot of teams in our league in Area 4 who play most of their games here in the month of June and then quit the first couple of weeks in July. So it'd be interesting to see what teams wind up making the state tournament, if it's the teams that wind up spreading their games out throughout the season, or if it's the teams that kind of front load their schedule and have a couple of weeks off before the state tournament. That was the case last year for a couple of teams who actually qualified for the state tournament and then didn't want to actually come play in the state tournament. Meyer hits one to center field. This one, Harwood going back. It is over his head and takes one hop and goes over the wall. The Falcons are blasting the baseball deep here in the first inning. A ground rule double for Ian Meyer scores 2, and it's a 3-0 lead for the Falcons here in the first inning. Harwood settled underneath it, and then again, the wind blowing hard nearly got that one to leave the ballpark, but just bounced short of the wall and then over the wall for the double. 2 RBIs in there for Ian Meyer as his hot summer continues, and this will trigger a visit to the mound for the Philomath Fighting Jays. An opportunity for us to remind you today's broadcast on mybasin.com, brought to you in part by Abby's Legendary Pizza. If you're looking for a great place to eat, head to one of Abby's Legendary Pizza locations for some of the best pizza in the Klamath Basin at 1919 Austin Street or 2226 Shalleck Street near OIT. Abby's Legendary Pizza, a proud supporter of youth sports in Oregon. So it'll be Corbin Hamilton as the conference on the mound is over. And this inning, 3 extra base hits for the Falcons have gotten them on the board, and a 3-run advantage, led off by the Sims triple. Takini reached on an error. Jacoby Takini doubled, and then Meyer followed it up with a double of his own. And so in steps Corbin Hamilton, still nobody out in the inning, and a runner on board is, of course, Meyer at second. And after that, PJ Safford in the order. For Meyer, by the way, double number 3 on the season. An RBI number 14 puts him in the lead in the team in that category. Here's Hamilton getting ready for his first look at Cameron Kvitt on the hill for Philomath. Second baseman Moravez trying to keep Meyer close, and then the pitch in is going to get away from the pitcher and to the backstop. It'll be ball 1 as Meyer advances to third base on the wild pitch. Like I said, a little bit of a more shallow center field than we have at Kiger Stadium. It's 353 at a straightaway center as opposed to 385, which we deal with back in the basin. The foul lines are about similar, though. Again, 330 down either side here at Stevenson Field as Kvitt gets across a strike on the outer third. The count is even at a ball and a strike. Just a single game, by the way, today. I wanted to get that out of the way. Single 9-inning game here between Philomath and Klamath Falls as Hamilton hits one hard to the right side, but that one's foul for sure next to the McGarry Fieldhouse. Looks like a newer addition, if I recall. The last time that I was here was 2022, a playoff series, or playoff game, I suppose, for the Henley Hornets at that time. As Hamilton's got 2 strikes on him, and Kvitt working out of the windup delivers. That pitch is going to miss high and in to Hamilton. And the count to Corbin, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And again, P.J. Safford waiting on deck. 3-0 to score, top of the first inning. The pitch from Kvitt is going to miss away, and again in the dirt. Herbert, a fine job of knocking that one down. Although that's about the 4th pitch this inning that's missed in the other batter's box for Kvitt. He's a member of the Philomath varsity Warriors. And their postseason trip this year as Kvitt misses outside there. And it's a walk to Hamilton, so put runners at the corner still with nobody out for P.J. Safford. Couple of varsity players on this team, couple of junior varsity players on this team as well who are hoping to improve their role next year. But Kvitt just wrapped up his junior season for the Warriors. He's joined by his catcher, Cameron Herbert, also a senior-to-be at Philomath High School. As P.J. Safford digs in here for the Falcons. And again, Meyer aboard at third, Hamilton on at first. Safford has been up in these spots a ton this year where he's been asked to lay down sacrifice bunts. We'll see if the Falcons have him do it again here. As Kvitt comes set, and the pitcher steps off, tries to get Hamilton in the rundown, and they get him. I thought that would have been a balk. It looked like he motioned home before stepping off, but I guess I stand corrected. And Meyer didn't break for home, and so Hamilton's just going to get caught stealing there. 1 out in the inning. And again, still a fresh count to Safford. Nothing coming up yet. I really thought that he had started coming home with that ball, the leg kick and all, but I suppose I'm mistaken. Back out of the windup is Kvit with 1 gone in the inning. That pitch will be called a strike on the outer third. Safford falls behind here 0-1. Safford still batting .263 this season, despite being asked to lay down a number of sacrifice bunts. And for guys who have started a bulk of the games here for the Falcons, fewer at-bats than most. A lot of his teammates up in the mid-20s, low 30s. Safford, for him, this is at-bat number 20 because of how many sacrifices he's laid down this year. He takes a look at ball 1. Now the count's even to Safford. He punches one towards second base. Up with it is Moravez. Throw to first is going to be in time, but a run scores, and the Falcons lead 4-0 as Meyer touches home on the ground out from Safford. And for PJ, RBI number 6 on the season, and it brings up Trustin Thomas with the bases empty and 2 outs. Thomas in the last game for the Falcons wound up with some pitching duties, was the starting pitcher, worked 4 innings of that contest, left without a decision. The win in that game actually went to Max Rogers, but a good outing for Trustin Thomas, that's to be sure. We had only seen him pitch 1 inning before then as he takes ball 1 high and in. Works ahead here, 1-0. Pitch to Thomas. That one came in and got him. Had to get out of the way of it. It looked like it got him on his back arm, like underneath his front elbow, and then got him in the back one. So he's going to get first there as a couple of guys come out to check on him. But hit by pitch, Thomas aboard. I wanted to finish my thought yesterday. 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts. He did walk a fair few batters, 4 free passes in 4 innings, but again, he overall limited traffic on the base paths, and that 1 hit sort of negates the 4 walks that you give up, especially if you don't stack them. And so a good outing for Thomas yesterday helped contribute to a Falcons win, and now he's on base with 2 outs and Ty Teeters at the plate. Pitch from Kvit. Teeters watches that one miss upstairs. The count is 1-0. Yesterday, Teeters was 1 for 3 with a single. He also scored a run in that game when he walked in the 6th inning against the Grants Pass Cavemen. Again, a 6-2 victory in 9 innings yesterday at Grants Pass High School for the Falcons. The 1-0 pitch to Ty Teeters is waved at and missed, and the count is even to Teeters, the second baseman today, the 8th batter to hit in this half inning. The Falcons have scored 4 to start the ball game. After Teeters, it's going to be Harley Hoblet who waits on deck for the Falcons. Set on the hill is Kvit. And now the pitch in. Looks to be off speed. Catches the outside part of the plate, if not an inch or so off. And the count's a ball and 2 strikes to Ty Teeters. Teeters for the Falcons this season, off to a good start. .520. He is really off to an impressive start this season. Second on the team in hitting, 13 for his first 25. In the 1-2 pitch, it misses upstairs. Thomas is on the move, and he's going to slide in safely as the throw from behind the plate was wide left. And a runner in scoring position now. Still in a 2-strike count to Ty Teeters, but the count is even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Not a hit and run there with Teeters patiently awaiting that pitch to miss up. And a decent lead off a second for Thomas. Takes a half step back as the second baseman looks to cover. Now the pitcher motions home, and the pitch will miss outside. Count is full to Ty Teeters here with 2 outs top of the first inning, and the Falcons lead the Fightin' Jays 4-0. Herbert delivers the sign to Kvit, who comes set. Takes a deep breath, checks on the runner, now motions home. And that pitch misses upstairs. Good job by Teeters. He was behind in the count 1-2 and was able to work a walk. And it brings up Harley Hoblet. Harley yesterday had a single. Was left stranded on base both times, though. Both times in scoring position as well. He also grounded out and flew out in that game. Bats here with 2 men on and 2 men out. First pitch to Hoblet misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Carson Sims due up next if Hoblet is able to find a way to get on base. This season, Hoblet also off to a great start. .474 on the season. All 9 of his hits have been singles, though, and he's also scored 12 runs. And for that work, it's third most on the team. The 1-0 coming up to Hoblet. Kvyt kicks and delivers, misses outside with that one, and it's 2-0 to the Falcons center fielder. All right, gets the ball back. Kvyt straightens up his cap. He's working hard out there this half inning for Philomath. Again, as far as guys on their roster, looks to be one of the only few pitchers who played varsity this season for Philomath, as Hoblet hits one into the air, shallow right field. Second baseman Moravez is able to make the catch and end the inning, but not before the Falcons score 4 on 3 base hits. They take advantage of one Fightin Jay's error, and they leave 2 stranded. A 4-0 lead as we go to the bottom half of the first next on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home.
I just saw your face. I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice. I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
4-0 Falcons advantage as we get set for the bottom half of the first inning on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com. It's Hayden Poor on the hill for the Falcons today as we take a look at the right-hander. Poor making his 3rd start of the season, his 5th overall appearance. He carries a 1-1 record coming into play today, allowing 9 hits, 6 runs. They're all earned. He struck out 17 batters. Poor, in 10 innings pitched, has an ERA of 5.4. So far as the sample size is concerned, largest ERA on the team, but a chance to lower that today with a good outing. Last time Poor took the hill, I'll give you an outlook on Poor's previous starts. It was against North Jackson back on June 18th. Pitched 5 innings, gave up just 1 earned run. Really, you look at Poor, and I think most of his kind of ERA comes back from Grants Pass on the opening game of the season. He pitched 3 innings, gave up 3 runs, although he struck out 7 and really gave up a 3-run home run. It was the only bad pitch he made all day. He gave up 2 runs in 1 innings pitched against Sun West, a AAA ball club. And so, although the ERA is a little bit higher than Poor might like, this point in the season, nothing to be ashamed of for the year he's turned in so far, and a chance at a quality start today against Philomath as he starts out Parker Harwood with a 1-1 count. It was a strike 1 on the first pitch, and then he missed low and away on the second offering. Jacoby Tacchini, of course, the catcher for the Falcons, will go around the diamond here in just a moment as Harwood swings and misses at that pitch. The count is 1-2. After Harwood in the order due up this inning is Jace Iverson and Gavin Bennett. Ball and 2 strikes the count as Poor kicks and delivers. That one is going to miss low and away. The count is 2-2. Love watching Poor pitch. Just has so much motion in his pitching delivery. He rocks back and forth. He kicks hard off his back foot, drives that towards the batter, and is able to find some velocity in that way. Has a good curveball, a quality changeup, good 2-seam fastball as well. The count's full to the leadoff hitter as Poor is going to deliver. That one is lifted into right field. Trustin Thomas is going to go back and make the catch, and there's 1 out in the bottom of the first inning. Around the diamond for the Falcons, Jacoby Tacchini catching. P.J. Safford at third, Carson Sims at short. Ty Teeters plays second, Ian Meyer at first. In the outfield from left to right, it's Corbin Hamilton, Harley Hoblet, and Trustin Thomas as Jace Iverson gets ready to step in now for the Fighting Jays. Poor delivers the first pitch. Here it comes. That one is off speed and going to miss upstairs, it looks like. The count is 1-0. Again, the Fighting Jays, for their part, coming off a loss yesterday against North Marion. That pitch is also going to miss outside, 2-2. It was an 8-6 loss here at home yesterday for Iverson. 2 for 3 in that contest, a couple of RBIs and a double. Looking to replicate that today for his own squad. Here he hits one high to center field. Hoblet back near the track. It's carrying, but Hoblet tucks it away for the second out in the first inning. I got to be careful because those fly balls just really seem to carry a long way, and what seems to be routine is anything but on those well-hit balls to left center field. We saw it eat up a couple of the Philomath center fielder, Harwood, a couple of times. Nothing he could really do with that ball blowing over his head, and maybe Hoblet learned a lesson from that. He's playing a little bit deeper ahead of the first pitch to Gavin Bennett, who checks his swing on a slider in the dirt. Did he go? Yes, he did, says the base umpire, and it's an 0-1 count to Gavin Bennett. Bennett starting in right field today for the Fightin' Jays. He was 1 for 3 in the loss last night against North Marion. He swings and misses at that pitch, and the count is 0-2. He also walked and struck out in that game and scored a run. Pitch on the way from Hayden Poor in an 0-2 count. That one is looked at for a ball. It dips below the zone and actually bounces to the plate. Count is 1-2 to Bennett. If the inning continues, the pitcher for the Fightin' Jays due up next, Cameron Kavit. Here's the 1-2 from Hayden Poor. Strike 3 looking. Quick work of the Fightin' Jays here in the first. They go down in order, and the Falcons lead 4-0, headed to the second next on 104.3, 960 Sports, and MyBasin.com.
Come on in. Hey, I'm Jason with Elevate Physical Therapy, Fitness, and Performance, and just a little bit about us. So we started in March of 2020, opened right before COVID hit. It's been a wild ride. So one of the things I'm super passionate about is this idea of being guides, or think about like a map and compass. If you think about our job as physical therapists is to take a person who's had an injury and help them kind of go from point A to point B. And everybody's journey is different. It's never a straight line. It's nice to have someone that's been there, that's walked that path before many times. And so we see it as our honor and privilege to be able to walk with patients through those little steps along the way of getting back to doing the things they love. So to get a hold of us at Elevate, you can call our number at 541-887-2030. Check out our website, elevateptfp.com. Or check us out on Instagram, shoot us a message.
Getting set now for the top half of the second inning today from Stevenson Field at Philomath High School as the Falcons take it on the Fighting Jays of Philomath this afternoon. Carson Sims, Colin Tacchini, Jacoby Tacchini due up this half inning. It's the top of the order after the Falcons batted around in the top half of the first and scored 4 runs on 3 hits. They did leave a couple of guys out there, but can't start much better than that. Or for the Falcons, of course, I suppose you could, but you'll take a 4-run advantage anytime you can find it. The Falcons have scored in bunches this season. They've only been held to fewer than 10 runs twice this year. Once yesterday, it was the win against the Cavemen 6-2, and once in their only loss of the season against the AAA Sunwest Generals of Redmond, a 5-4 loss against the AAA ball club. And so again, like I said, the Falcons have been able to score a ton of runs this season, and they've run-ruled the majority of their opponents, and already off to a great start here against Philomath. Sims looking to play a little bit of small ball to lead off the inning, but he bunts it foul, and the count is 0-1. Tomorrow for the Falcons, making a stop at a somewhat familiar place at Sweet Johnson Stadium at North Eugene High School, taking on the Ole Athletics, the Eugene single-A team. It's the sub-club for the Eugene Challengers, who are, of course, just tearing it up at the AAA level. The 0-1 pitch to Sims is swung on and missed, and the count is 0-2 after the off-speed pitch. Kavit got him to swing over the top of it. always like making the trip to Eugene at least once a season. The 0-2 pitch to Sims is a curveball. He's out in front of that one, goes down on strikes, 3 straight pitches, and it brings up Colin Takini. I think, for my own part, I like going just about anywhere. If there's baseball being played, I'm going to be there. But these week-long road trips, or however long that it's going to wind up being, I mean, we stop at home for a couple of games, and then we're back out on the road after that. So just this stretch of the season, I think, adds so much character to a team and so much grit to a team as well, as that pitch is going to miss outside to Colin Takini. Count is 1-0. I mean, look at the main trip that they took last year was, of course, to Alaska. Here's the 1-0 pitch in, and it looks like Hunter Glidden is batting in the space here of Colin Takini. So Glidden is now taking over the DH spot, it looks like, from Colin. He's been kind of tensed up in his leg. I talked to him the other day about it, and he said it's just a hamstring thing that he's dealing with as Glidden takes that pitch. Count is 2-1. Said he felt better. And that was before the games against Phoenix. Only played in one of those games. Was left out of the starting lineup in the latter game. Missed yesterday's contest, and then gets one at bat here. Seemed like they're trying to work him into the lineup, but just still not 100%. So it's going to be Hunter Glidden batting here. Takini, for his part, though, did score a run after he reached on an error. Made it all the way around there. Count 2-2 to Hunter Glidden. Batting here in the 2 spot. The 2-2 is looked at for a ball, 3-2. Anyway, as I was saying, these road trips, I think, just bring a team closer together. And you don't get this in the high school season where you're out on the road for multiple days at a time, really. As the 3-2 is taken for strike 3, letter high fastball, and Glidden goes down looking for the second out of the inning. I mean, you play tournaments where, for Henley, for example, they come to the coast and they play a tournament. This year they went up to the Dalles and they played a tournament up there. And I know Klamath Union, I believe they went to Madras, if I'm not mistaken, for a tournament this year. As the pitch to Takini, Jacoby Takini, is going to miss wide, 1-0. So those are all great, but I think there's something to be said about getting somewhere and playing at a new place every night and being with the boys and trying to find a way to go on the road and get a win in a non-tournament setting where you can get comfortable in a single spot. The 1-0 pitch is called a strike, and the count is even at 1-1. I think that trip to Alaska really brought the Falcons close together. I think that this week on the road we'll do the same thing. The 1-1 pitch to Takini. Ground ball towards the left side. Backhanded by the shortstop, Iverson. The throw is in time. A nice job by Iverson, the shortstop. And the Falcons go down in order in the second inning. We go to the bottom half of the second next in a 4-0 ball game on 104.3, 960 Sports, and mybasin.com.
At Geno's on East Main Street, we're always ready for sports season.
And now is a perfect time to connect with us.
We're open every morning at 6:30, serving simply good food
for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
We offer breakfast burritos and burgers all day, Italian family recipes,
monthly specials, amazing desserts, and of course, your choice of cold or hot beverages.
Call 884-6474 right now to place a food order for pickup or use DoorDash delivery.
Or best of all, come dine in with us.
Geno's on East Main, simply good food.
Check out our full menu and all our activities at ilovegenos.com. Geno's on East Main, simply good food.
Bottom of the second inning, the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Philomath Fightin Jays a score of 4-0. It's the middle of the Philomath order due up this half inning. Cameron Kavit, Jace Altishan, and Cam Herbert. They go to work against Hayden Poor. It was a good top half of this inning for Philomath. They were able to get through the Klamath order in order and keep this just a 4-run ball game for the moment. Again, a 9-inning game today, so still plenty of baseball yet left to go for the Philomath Fightin Jays to try to make a run at this thing as Kavit gets ready to step in here against Hayden Poor. Taking a look at what Kavit did last time out against North Marion. He was 0 for 3 in that contest. made contact all 3 times, and he pops one foul here, and the count is 0-1. Kvitt looking to right the ship a little bit. Got rocked a bit in the first inning. He was able to come back in the second inning and, like I said, pitch a good second inning. Not only did he retire the Falcons in order, but got 2 punch-outs as well. And so if he can start a rally here for Philomath, he'd feel pretty good about the performance so far today. The 0-1 is hit weakly into right field. Thomas coming in, and he does make the catch for the first out. Nice job by Thomas to read that baseball. We really waited for it to reach its apex, just like how they teach you to field that fly ball. And sometimes the basics stand out, and I think that time for me it did for Thomas as he records the first out of the second inning. Jace Altishan getting ready to step in now for Philomath, getting the start in left field today and batting from the left side. The first pitch to Altishan is going to be called a strike right over the heart of the plate on the 2-seam fastball from Hayden Poor, and the count is 0-1. After Altishan in the order, it's the catcher, Cam Herbert. The 0-1 on the way to Altishan is going to miss low and in, and the count is a ball and a strike. Altishan yesterday went 1 for 2 in the contest. His one hit, though, a loud one, a triple for the Fightin Jays in their 8-6 loss against North Marion. 1-1 and a roller down the first baseline is going to go foul. Count is ball and 2 strikes to Altishan. Altishan was a member of the junior varsity team for Philomath this past season. And when he returns to school, he'll be an upperclassman, a junior. And this season, a chance to impress his head coach, Levi Weber, and make that varsity squad. And that's, I think, the case for a lot of the teams. The Falcons are having been played this year, have a lot of guys who are split up between their varsity and junior varsity teams during the springtime, as that pitch is going to miss upstairs. Count is 2-2. A lot to play for these younger players on these Legion ball clubs. The 2-2 is going to miss upstairs. The count's 3-2. And for, played Phoenix earlier in the week, or I believe last weekend, I believe it was Saturday, the Falcons played the Phoenix Cascade Legion Baseball Club, the 3-2 home. I'm going somewhere with this, as that pitch was swung on and missed. There's 2 outs in the inning, and it brings up Cam Herbert. Those guys, they did have quite a few, seniors, graduated students on that team, but that's the first time the Falcons have really faced something like that this season. And those were good competitive contests, but Falcons continue to roll along here on this long road trip. That was games 3 and 4 of the road trip. Today's game number 6 of a road trip for the Falcons, as that pitch misses outside. 1-0. Like I said, continuing tomorrow in Eugene, doubleheader in Salem on Thursday, and then a single game on Friday in Roseburg. As the 1-0 pitch is fisted to the left side of the infield, in the air, Safford makes a running catch, and that'll do it in the inning. 3 up, 3 down for the Fightin Jays in the second, and we go to the third in a 4-0 ball game on 104.3 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
There's something special about this place. It's more than the quiet mornings and the open skies. It's more than the scenery. It's the people. Around here, people still wave when you pass by. They check in when something's wrong. They show up when it matters. At Sage Credit Union, we're proud to live and work in a region that believes in each other. A place where neighbors lend a hand, small businesses thrive, and generosity runs deep. We believe that being part of a community means giving back to it, not just with dollars, but with time, effort, and heart. That's why our employees earn paid volunteer time. That's why you'll see us at food drives, fundraisers, and the local fair. We show up for our community. This isn't just where we work. This is where we live, where we give, and where we grow. Right here, in the coffee shop, at the fundraiser, and in our local branch. At Sage Credit Union, we've found our people. We'll see you around town.
Josh Eldridge along with you on 104.3 960 Sports and mybasin.com. Top half of the third inning, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead 4-0 against the Philomath Fightin Jays. Middle of the Falcons order due up: Ian Meyer, Corbin Hamilton, and P.J. Safford. believe Kavit is still out there on the hill. I'm going to wait for him to turn around, see if I can't spot that number 6 on his back, although it does look like the same kid out there. Yep, there's the number 6. So Kavit's still out there for his third inning of this start. Got through the second unscathed, 3 up, 3 down for the top of the Falcons order, but now he's going up against Ian Meyer. It's been a great start to the season for him. Talked to Ian Meyer back on Saturday. He was our Abby's Legendary Pizza Player of the Game, which we name at the end of every contest, and when we can, we try to get the kid up for an interview. Meyer, in those games against Phoenix, just a standout performer, like he has been most of the summer for the Falcons. In the opening game, he was 3 for 4, had an extra base hit and some RBIs in that contest, and then in the nightcap against Phoenix back on Saturday, Meyer got a little bit of pitching in. I believe, he pitched in the opener, and then he was 1 for 3 in the nightcap as well with an RBI. So here he is, getting going against Cameron Kavit. The pitch is going to miss low and away. The count is 1-0 to Ian Meyer. Like I said, already a double today, a ground rule double for E, as he knocked in a couple of runs and scored a run himself in the first. Here he works ahead, 1-0. And the pitch on the way, ripped to third base and bounces over Bennett's glove and into left field. And Meyer reaches on a single, and it brings up Corbin Hamilton. Meyer now 2 for 2 today as Hamilton gets ready to step in. Corbin walked his first time up and then was out trying to steal second. Fourth hit of the day, by the way, for the Falcons on that one. They check on Meyer over at first. He dives back safely. Meyer not much of a threat to just go on his own, although wouldn't put it past Falcons to have some kind of hit and run or something of that nature on here. Pitch on the way. And that one, I think, missed upstairs. Looked pretty good to Corbin, but the count's 1-0 to him. And after Hamilton in the order, it's P.J. Safford. Set on the mound is Kavit, 1-0 count, and the pitch to Hamilton is going to miss outside. That one skips by Herbert into the backstop, a wild pitch. Makes the count 2-0, and it moves Meyer up to second base. Good RBI opportunity for the team's third leading hitter. Hamilton enters play today batting .484. He's got a couple of extra base hits, 7 RBI on the season for him. Golden opportunity at one here. Set on the hill is Kavit. Takes a moment before delivering the pitch. That one called a strike. Might have looked a little bit higher than the previous one was. Hamilton, I think, reacted as much. Regardless, I think the count is right, 2-1. Whether which one was called a ball and which one is called a strike, I suppose doesn't really matter at the end of the day. The 2-1 on the way to Corbin. Curveball dips beneath the zone. Counts 3-1 to the Falcons' left fielder. Hamilton has played a little bit of first base, of course pitches for the Falcons, but has preferred to play in the outfield really since the beginning of the prep season. Pitch on the way to Hamilton. He watches that one get called a strike on the outside part. Counts 3-2. I like Hamilton in the outfield. I mean, he's tall, so you like to have him at first base if you can, but he prefers to play the outfield, likes it in left or right. I don't think I've seen him play center, but that's your preference. The Falcons need to fill a hole. They got Ian Meyer who likes to play first base. All right, Hamilton can take over in left field, and he works a walk here. And so with nobody out, there's 2 men on for P.J. Safford. And another opportunity to probably try to lay down a bunt for P.J. as he gets signs in from the third base coach, Sean Teeters. Down at first is Caleb Keelan. In the dugout for the Falcons, Pete Whistler and Craig Connor. I think Joe Tacchini's in there, although I saw Coach Tacchini in a pair of shorts in the crowd, so he might not be in the dugout today. Might just be wanting to be a fan. As Safford tries to lay down a bunt, he actually winds up on top of that one and misses it entirely. The count is 0-1 to Safford, who is 0 for 1 in the ball game, although he did have an RBI. It was a productive ground out in the first inning for PJ. Count is 0-1 to him here. Teeters issues a new set of signs. We'll see if the directive changes at all as Safford digs back in. Corners in for Philomath. Safford showing bunt, and he pushes it down the first base side, although it winds up foul. And the count is 0-2 to Safford. Thinking PJ going to be swinging away here with 2 strikes on him. Teeters in the third base box doesn't bother with the signs. He knows the situation. Not going to be bunting here with 2 strikes. Everyone else is on the same page. The corner infielders return back to their normal spots. And here's the 0-2 pitch to PJ. That one misses below the knees and outside. Count is 1-2 to the former Klamath Union Pelican and soon to be Oregon Tech Owl. Ball and 2 strikes. And the offering to Safford. That one's going to miss in the dirt away. Nice job by Herbert to knock that one down. Kept it in front of him. He lost it for a moment around his feet. But no one is moving. Meyer taking the safe bet, and I think the right way to do it as well. It was a good block by Herbert. He just couldn't locate the baseball, so no real chance at advancing on that pitch in the dirt. And now it's a 2-2 count to P.J. Safford. Here it comes from Cameron Kvitt. Off speed misses up. Counts full. On deck after Safford is Trustin Thomas. Lead off of first for Hamilton. Not much to speak of, and frankly nowhere to go with Meyer in front of him. But Meyer, a fairly sizable lead off the second base bag. No one's there to hold him ahead of the full count pitch. Safford watches that one dip low and away for a walk, and the bases are loaded for Trustin Thomas. Meyer to third. Hamilton to second. Back-to-back walks for Kvitt loads the bases. Good spot here for Trustin Thomas. Thomas on the season batting .250. He is 6 for 24 to start the season, although his RBI numbers got 7 of them this season. He seems to come up in these spots and come through in these spots. First pitch to Thomas, called a strike. Count is 0-1. That outside pitch against the righties has been here today, even if not a little bit, an inch or so off the plate. Here's the offering to Thomas. That one is low and away. Oh, they called that one a strike too. I thought that one, I think maybe not away. It certainly looked low. The catcher did a pretty wicked framing job on that one. Stole a pitch, to be sure. The count is 0-2. And that one is going to miss away. 1-2 the count to Trustin Thomas. After Thomas in the order is Ty Teeters. Thomas digs in, has to protect here, especially that outside part in a 2-strike count. Kvitt delivers. Thomas lifts one into the air, right center field. That'll get down. Could be extra bases. Meyer is going to score. They hold Hamilton at third, so they're a little station to station here, and an RBI single for Trustin Thomas makes it 5-0 Falcons. They want to keep the Ducks on the pond here. Don't blame them, as Ty Teeters is due up next. Hamilton advances to third, Safford to second. The RBI single for Thomas puts him at first, and 8th RBI of the season for Trustin. Like I said, he just seems to find a way to come through with guys on base, and for the Falcons, and for any team, really, you need a guy to be able to do that. And Thomas in the 7 spot typically hits with guys on, and so nice job there. As the first pitch misses upstairs to Ty Teeters, 1-0. Ty walked his first time up in the first inning. Kvitt working out of the windup with the bases loaded. He kicks and delivers the pitch. Teeters, a line drive into center field and a base hit. Hamilton's going to score. This time they give the green light to Safford, and the ball is misplayed in center. Thomas is going to come all the way in from first and score, and a bases clearing hit for Ty Teeters. Give him the single, and then advancing on the error in center field. I'm going to imagine that they say Thomas scored on the error. Safford probably would have scored anyway, and certainly Hamilton would have from third. Regardless, doesn't change the score. It's 8-0 Falcons. Runner in scoring position, and still nobody out in the inning. Here's Harley Hoblet. Hoblet, his first time up, popped out to second base. He takes an off-speed pitch away here. The count is 1-0. Walks come back to bite Kvitt. It was a leadoff single for Meyer, then back-to-back walks to Hamilton and Safford. Thomas with an RBI single, then Ty Teeters with a 3 RBI single. The 1-0. That one misses away, squirts away from Herbert, and the runner will advance to third. That's Ty Teeters, now 90 feet away from scoring, and a 2-0 count. After Hoblet, Carson Sims is due up next. Top of the third inning, 8-0 Falcons. All right, Kavit ready to throw again. And here's the pitch. Taken for a ball outside. 3-0 the count to Hoblet. Like I said, Harley, good start this season. .474 hitter. Fourth best batting average on the team coming into play today. And he'll boost the on-base percentage a bit as he works a 4-pitch walk. Runners at the corner, still nobody out. Top of the order in Carson Sims. Sims today is 1 for 3. Oh, by the way, it looks like Hoblet coming out, Snell coming in. We'll see if that's a change the Falcons stick with, as both those men do play the same position in center field. So Snell aboard at first, Sims at the plate. And still at third is Ty Teeters. Pitch on the way to Carson Sims. Is looked at for a ball low, 1-0. Like I said, Sims tripled his first time up, came in to score in the first inning, and otherwise struck out in the second. Hunter Glidden is due up next for the Falcons. Here's the 1-0 to Sims. He's going to have to wait just a minute as a pitcher steps off, looks at third, then back to first. Might have been what got Hamilton to go the last time up that I thought was a balk, and I suppose if he motioned to third, then it wouldn't be a balk, and maybe I just missed that. Either way, count the Sims is 2-0 as he watches that one miss low and away, and brought up some dirt with it as well. Sims being patient up there, ahead 2-0. 8-0 Falcons, top of the third. Kavit looks in, comes set, and again, tries to check on that runner at first by motioning to third first. Not a bad option there for the Philomath pitching staff. If it fooled the Falcons once, maybe Klamath Falls has learned from it, although with Snell aboard, the pitch is a grounder towards shortstop. It's going to be a backhand attempt by Iverson at short, but it goes through and into left field, and a run scores. And it's a 9-0 Falcons lead. And we'll see exactly how they score that. I think if Iverson tried to field that one normally, he probably could have come up with it, but he tried to backhand it, and it got behind him. I'm going to see. I would probably charge an error, but I'm not the official scorer for a reason. So we'll see exactly as Carson Sims reaches. Regardless, knocks in a run, and they will mark it a single for Carson. So give him the RBI, and here's Hunter Glidden as the infield comes in, has a conference with their coach. An opportunity for us to remind you today that our broadcast is brought to you in part by Klamath Falls Subaru, who's through the Subaru Love Promise and Subaru Share the Love events has donated thousands of dollars to dozens of hometown charities. Klamath Falls Subaru on Washburn Way. Stop by and say hi. Snell advances to second on that hit from Sims. And for the Falcons today, a total of 7 hits on the afternoon. Kavit going to stay in the ball game, and it brings up Hunter Glidden. Sims now 2 for 3 today with that RBI. As everyone returns to their spot around the diamond, Coach Keelan down the first base side, Sims aboard. Snell back out at second, and Glidden digging in at the plate. Glidden so far today 0 for 1. He struck out in the second inning. Pitch on the way from Kavit. That one is going to dip low and away. The count is 1-0 to Glidden. Again, 8th batter to bat this inning for the Falcons, and the Fightin' Jays still looking for their first out. Here's the 1-0 on the way from Kavit. And that one's going to be called a strike. Two-seam fastball, outer third. Counts even to Hunter Glidden. Take a look at the stats for Hunter so far this season. He's 1 for 5 to start the year. I suppose 1 for 6 now after the strikeout. And Herbert going to come out and have a chat with his pitcher. And second meeting here, although only the first between only the pitcher and the catcher. And I think it has concluded. I don't see anybody warming up for Philomath out there. They do have 4 reserves listed on their lineup card. But you often see guys pulled in from the field to pitch too. So Kavit continuing to work out there against Hunter Glidden in a 1-1 count. Pitch on the way is hit into right field, and another base hit for the Falcons. They are going to wave in Mason Snell. The throw brings the catcher up the line, and Snell is gunned down from the right fielder Barrett trying to score. Sims does get to third, and at first is Hunter Glidden with the base hit, although no RBI, and there's 1 out in the inning. Jacoby Tacchini stepping in now with 1 out in the inning. He's 1 for 2 today. He doubled in the first and scored. He also grounded out in the second. Pitch on the way from Kavit. That's pitch number 80 for him. And he misses outside, 1-0. And I heard a couple guys raised their voice down here on the left side. Don't quite know exactly what it was, but it looks like we're ready for baseball anyway. And the count is 1-0 to Jacoby Tacchini. Runners at the corners, just 1 out. The pitch from Tacchini, hit hard, hit deep to left center field. Moving over is Harwood. He makes the catch. Tagging from third to score is Sims, and he does. And the Falcons have a double-digit lead here in the third inning. 10-0 Falcons, 2 outs in the inning. And we're back where we started with Ian Meyer. Glidden, by the way, stayed put at first. Meyer gets ready to step in now. Pitch on the way. Here it comes. That one is taken for a strike on the outside part. Count is 0-1 to Ian Meyer. Singled earlier this inning and came around to score. Also doubled in the first, a ground rule double for Meyer. The 0-1 pitch, curveball waved at and missed. The count is 0-2. Corbin Hamilton is due up next if Meyer finds a way to get on base. Looking in is Kavit. And the pitch home is a curveball lifted to shallow right field. Coming in is Bennett, and he makes the catch to put an end to this third inning. But the Falcons add to their lead at a total of 6 runs. It's 10-0 as we go to the bottom of the third next on 104.3, 960 Sports, and MyBasin.com.
What are your goals? To get stronger, move better, feel healthier? Whatever you are aiming for, Harbor Isles is here to help you. They have brand new cardio and strength equipment. Harbor Isles offers indoor tennis courts, 4 indoor pickleball courts, energizing group classes, expert personal trainers, and a friendly, knowledgeable staff ready to guide you every step of the way. No matter what your goals are, Harbor Isles has everything you need to reach those goals. Stop by and see the difference for yourself. Harbor Isles, lose those reins and get your gains.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Oregon, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back to the bottom half of the third inning here on 104.3, 960 Sports, and MyBasin.com. Couple of changes here for the Falcons around the diamond. Let's see. In center field, like I had thought, Harley Hoblet takes over there. In right field, Max Rogers into the game. At second base, it looks like Colby Medeiros into the contest. And I believe those are... Oh, no, we also got one more change. Takini comes out from behind home plate. He's playing first base now. And Safford is catching. Which means Meyer has moved over to third base. Let's just go ahead and reset the entire defensive order for you here in just a second as Mason Bennett steps in now. First pitch to Bennett is a line drive into left field. That settles down in front of Chase Barrett. And that's a leadoff single here in the third. So I think everybody except for the shortstop has moved a position or been subbed in or out. So here's the starting defense here in the third inning for the Falcons. Hayden Poore still on the mound. P.J. Safford is catching. Ian Myers at third. Carson Sims is at short. Colby Medeiros is at second. Jacoby Takini at first. In the outfield from left to right, Chase Barrett, Mason Snell, and Max Rogers. The pitch from Poore is hit in the air to right field. Swinging early and often for the Fightin' Jays as they get back-to-back singles to start the third inning. Brings up Eli Maravez as Nate Ardent with a single, joining Mason Bennett with leadoff singles for Philomath. So here's the number 9 hitter in the order, the Fightin' Jays second baseman as Poore comes set and delivers home. Checks the swing, and it's called a strike anyway, 0-1. And so Poore is set again with the 0-1 pitch. And here it comes. Waved at and missed. A pitch way off the plate outside, and Poore works ahead here 0-2. Lineup card turns over next with Parker Harwood on deck. Poore looking in, gets the signs from Safford. And the pitch on the way from Hayden Poore is going to miss just off the plate away. Count is 1-2 to Moravez. Apologies there for the graphic coming up as a strikeout. I misclicked there on the balls and strikes, but the count is accurate. 1-2, nobody out, runners at first and second. Here's the pitch from Poore, a chopper up the middle. Sims charging. He's going to take the sure thing at first, and Takini is going to make the stretch and make the play for the first out. That does advance both of the other runners as Bennett to third and Arndt to second for the top of the order in Parker Harwood. Little adversity here for the Falcons in the third. A couple of men in scoring position for Hayden Poore as he comes set. Takes a look around the diamond, assesses the situation, and misses with a pitch in. And the count is 1-0 to Harwood, who's 0 for 1 in the ball game. He flew out to right field in the bottom half of the first inning. Fightin' Jays trail the Falcons here, a score of 10-0. The 1-0 pitch in, that one's called a strike. Count even at 1-1. Harwood and then Jace Iverson due up for the Fightin' Jays this half inning. Poore set on the hill. And he motions home. That one is going to miss away. Safford a fine job of keeping that one in front of him. Safford doesn't catch a lot too much anymore, although it's certainly something he likes to do. So good to see that he gets a chance to do so against Philomath here today. And you figured on this road trip we were going to see some things get moved around for Klamath Falls a little bit, as the 2-1 is going to miss in 3-1. Get guys in positions they don't normally get to play, even if they want to play them. And so that's why you see even Medeiros out there at second, Takini over at first. And I like that the Falcons are able to do this on this road trip. The 3-1, a grounder towards the left side. Meyer thought about applying the tag to the runner and then takes the sure thing at first. And a run comes in to score on the RBI ground out from Harwood. It's 10-1. Falcons still lead. Arndt advances to third on the play. And there's 2 outs for Jace Iverson. Iverson flew out in his only at-bat so far, came back in the first inning. He bats here with 2 outs and a runner at third. Poore steps off, looks the runner back, but now is back on the rubber. Comes set, and the pitch home. Curveball misses low. 1-0 to Jace Iverson. And after Iverson in the Philomath order is Gavin Bennett. 1-0 from Hayden Poor coming up is going to miss in, I think. Count is 2-0. Hard to make out exactly where home plate is from up here. Looks pretty covered with dust, to be quite honest with you. The 2-0 pitch is called a ball. 3-0. I think that one definitely missed outside. I'm trying real hard to spot the plate under all that dirt, and I honestly can't. I'm surprised that the umpire can. Here's the 3-0 pitch on the way to Iverson. And that one is going to miss high and in. No questions there. A 4-pitch walk, and it brings up Gavin Bennett. Yeah, we really got to dust off that plate, man. Not going to do it. Okay. Safford comes out, delivers signs to his infield. And with runners at the corners, Philomath could get crafty. We'll see if they decide too early in the ball game or if they try to play a bit more conservatively with 2 outs and Gavin Bennett at the plate. The first pitch to him misses upstairs. Count is 1-0. And not only is it hard for umpire to see home plate, but I'm sure the pitcher would like to see home plate too, as that pitch is called a strike. 0-1 lets you know how far outside or inside you can throw, especially with those inside lines from the batter's box being moved around and, not as straight as they were in the first inning. I'll put it that way. The 1-1 pitch from Hayden Poor is going to miss outside, and the count is 2-1. After Bennett in the order is the pitcher, Cameron Kavit. 2-1 the count. Poor is set. And he motions home. That pitch bounces to the plate. 3-1 the count. Runner at third is Nate Arndt. At first, it's Jace Iverson. His Poor has walked the previous batter, now falls behind here, 3-1. Pitch from Poor. Misses up, and another walk. Back-to-back walks load the bases. And we're going to get, I think, a meeting on the mound. I saw Coach Connor up and moving, but I don't think that he's coming out here to have a chat. At least not yet. Spaces are loaded here for the pitcher, Cameron Kavit. A chance to leave an impact on this game. Try to claw his team back in. If you can send a ball in the gap here, this 10-1 deficit shrinks quite a bit. At second is Iverson. At first is Bennett. Still at third is Nate Arndt. And Hayden Poor delivers the pitch. Curveball misses up. 1-0. Poor gets the ball back. Safford delivers it back to him quickly. Gets the sign in from the dugout. And it looks like Falcons might be getting someone up and at him in the bullpen as that pitch is called a strike. Count is 1-1. Let's see who we got out there warming up. I'll let you know here after this 1-1 pitch. Poor delivers. Curveball called a strike. 2 strikes on the hitter. Bases loaded. Looks like it's Jacoby Nickerson getting up and moving for the Falcons, although Poor 1 strike away from trying to dance himself out of a bases loaded jam in the third. Takes a look around, assesses the situation. Now he's ready to motion home to Cameron Kavit. The pitch is a grounder towards the left side. Meyer is up with it. He's going to win the foot race to the bag, and that will end the inning. But the Fightin' Jays score 1 on the RBI from Parker Harwood. We go to the top of the 4th in a 10-1 ball game on mybasin.com.
When your care feels complicated, you need someone who won't back away. At Heartfelt, they are known for taking on the cases others won't. Complex, high-risk, and deeply personal situations that deserve real attention. They specialize in minimally invasive procedures, helping you heal faster and get back to your life, your family, your work. And they are here for the long term, not just one visit. No referrals needed, just care that truly shows up for you. Visit heartfeltobgyn.com or call 541-205-6890. Heartfelt OBGYN, expert care when it matters most.
At Pacific Power, we can't predict the future, but we're preparing for every possibility. With more extreme weather year-round, we're investing in an energy system ready for what comes next. By strengthening the grid, using smart infrastructure, and drawing from our diverse energy resources, we're not just powering today. We're designing an energy system that's built to weather tomorrow. Energy that makes powering your greatness possible.
New pitcher on the mound for Philomath as we get set to start the top half of this fourth inning in a 10-1 ball game. It's going to be the first baseman and the pitcher just swapping spots. So Cameron Kavit takes over at first. Nate Ardent now on the hill for Philomath as the right-hander looks to go up against 5, 6, and 7 in the Falcons order. I'm going to think that is Chase Barrett, P.J. Safford, and Max Rogers, unless the Falcons wind up subbing some guys back in. But it's the spot of the left fielder. P.J. Safford stayed in the game, of course. He's still hitting in the 6th spot. And then the spot of the right fielder, which is now Max Rogers. So see exactly if I'm correct in that assessment as we get set for the top of the fourth inning. Let's go ahead and check the line scores so far for each of these teams. Let me make sure I've got the numbers right here. All right, 10 runs on 8 hits so far for the Falcons. They've committed no errors. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors for Philomath as we get set for this top of the fourth inning. So here is Chase Barrett getting ready to step in for the Falcons. Taking a look at Barrett this season, batting .130. He's 3 for his first 23 to start the season. He's been in and out of the lineup the last couple of games. But a chance here to try to come off the bench, maybe give a little bit of a different look here. But he's going to start things against the new pitcher, Nate Ardent, the right-hander for Philomath. Got a single 9-inning affair today as the Falcons lead by 9. And the pitch on the way to start things up against Chase Barrett. Here it comes. That one is going to be called a strike as it catches the upper third of the zone. Count is 0-1. Our vantage point today up in the box here at Stevenson Field. It's a good vantage point. I'm all alone up here, though. As the 0-1 comes in and is a strike. 0-2. Usually I'd have a PA guy up here or something, but in an empty box, got a couple fans on, which is nice as the 0-2 pitch comes in to Barrett. It's looked at for a ball, 1-2. Pretty healthy contingent of Falcons fans, though, making the trip. Hope to see that continue throughout the week. I assume quite a few folks have booked rooms up here somewhere in the valley. 1-2 pitch coming up. Curveball misses up. 2-2. I booked my room, and I didn't even know it. I'm staying at the same place that the Klamath Falls Falcons are staying at. I got to my room today at about 2 o'clock. So the 1-2 pitch is coming in to Barrett. That one is poked to shortstop. Charging in is the shortstop, Iverson. Going to be a close play. Barrett beats it out, the infield single, and that'll lead off the fourth inning. 9 hits today for the Falcons. First of the day for Barrett. And this will bring up P.J. Safford. But anyway, as I was saying, I got up to my room today about 2 o'clock. Laid down for a quick nap after driving for, 3 hours from Grants Pass or thereabout. Took a quick nap. I woke up, went out to my car, and there was the Falcons bus out parked next to me. It kind of surprised me. I thought these guys tracked me down, and then I thought, oh, they're probably staying in the same spot. As the pitch goes up and into Safford. Didn't drop the bat, though. That'll be a foul ball, and the count is 0-1. Roll up to the Chevron, see Hunter Glidden coming out with 2 giant sodas and something from the gas station. And I thought, okay, I'm in the right spot. Everything's all good. And, just kind of staying in the Albany area to use as a jumping off point for the games over the course of the rest of this week. Tomorrow in Eugene, Thursday in Salem, and then Friday afternoon in Roseburg. By the way, the time for the Roseburg game got moved. If you follow along the team on Game Changer or the schedule that's on mybasin.com, hold that thought. Pickoff move over to Barrett, gets away from the first baseman. Barrett's going to advance to second base on the error. In scoring position now for P.J. Safford. So, again, that game on Friday got moved. Again, if you follow Game Changer, it says 5 o'clock on there. It also says that on our schedule on mybasin.com. I got word today that game was moved to 1 o'clock in Roseburg. The 0-2 on the way to Safford. A curveball lifted into shallow center field. Could be tough to get to, and in fact, no one is going to get to it. And a single for Safford is going to advance Barrett to third. Runners at the corners, nobody out for Max Rogers. Back-to-back singles to start the inning for the Falcons. 10th hit of the day for Klamath Falls. And I believe also, haven't got this confirmed, but I believe the return date for the Falcons on Sunday, when they play the Roseburg Pepsi again, I believe that game time got shifted to an early afternoon start as well, although still waiting for that to be 100% confirmed, but just kind of keep your radar open as that game might be shifted from 5 o'clock to an earlier afternoon date at Kiger Stadium on Sunday this coming weekend. Okay, Max Rogers stepping in here. Runners at the corners and nobody out. The pitch to Rogers is going to go outside. The count is 1-0. I think that's nice, though, moving at least the Friday game a little bit earlier because the Falcons get to leave earlier. They get to go home earlier on Friday. 1-0. Rogers blasts that one into the gap in left center field. That's going to roll to the wall. Barrett scores with ease from third. Safford gets waved all the way in from first. The throw to home is never going to come. And a 2 RBI double for Max Rogers. It's 12-1 Falcons in the 4th inning. And this will bring up Colby Medeiros for the Klamath Falls Falcons, hitting in the 8th spot here in place of Ty Teeters, but want to wrap up that one for Max Rogers, who just hit his first extra base hit of the season and drove in RBI number 4 and 5 on that hit. As Medeiros settles in now, Medeiros takes a pitch up 1-0. Colby Medeiros has taken one previous at-bat this season, he's had one previous plate appearance. It didn't count as an at-bat because it was a walk. The 1-0 to Medeiros. Hit the opposite way, and another base hit for the Falcons. They're going to hold up Rogers at third. Runners at the corners here for Mason Snell. Falcons continuing to swing the bat well today. As they add another hit. First of the afternoon for Medeiros. First hit of the season for Medeiros as well. Congratulations to him. And here is Mason Snell, batting .250 to start the year. That pitch is in the dirt, blocked by Herbert. So no one is on the move. Counts 1-0. Like I said, good to see some of these guys get some at-bats. Like Medeiros, who gets his first hit of the season. Like Barrett, who got a hit and has come in to score. Like Max Rogers, who is hitting right around .250, just got his first extra base hit of the season. That's what happens when these guys are given opportunities, especially these guys from schools that I don't frankly see a lot of during the season. Like Medeiros is a great example. Plays at Lost River High School. I don't think I went to a single Lost River baseball game this year. I see the stats after every game and can see he's lighting it up on the mound and hitting the ball well enough. But it's good to see someone like himself and the Mazama guys like Mason Snell at the plate and Max Rogers and these guys who weren't part of the team in some cases last year come in and shine. Love to see that. That's what I think the summer season is all about, or should be all about. Getting the best players from our area to come together and shine together. And the Falcons embodying that so far this season. The 2-1 misses up, 3-1. I think this is the most diverse representation we've had ever since I've lived in the Klamath Basin. And I moved here in 2019. And even then, it was mostly Henley, Klamath Union, and Mazama. As the pitch in is going to miss upstairs and load the bases. And in steps Carson Sims as Rogers still at third. Medeiros moves to second. And Snell aboard. But now, of course, adding in Lost River and representation from Modoc as well. And, of course, Lakeview with Colin Takini He's been a member, though, for a handful of seasons. It's just so great to see such a wide, diverse group of local baseball players join the team. First pitch is a wild pitch. Gets away, and a run comes in and scores. 13-1 Falcons lead as Rogers touches home. Medeiros to third, Snell to second. And Sims now bats with 2 men in scoring position and still nobody out in a 1-0 count. Sims last time up singled and drove in a run. He's also scored twice today. First pitch called a strike. The count's even to Carson Sims, 1-1. But again, back to that diversity question, it's what the best teams in Legion baseball do. They take from all of their opportune area schools, and so many of the schools in our league in the Area 4 Single A division made up from just one singular high school. And I think that's part of the reason why the Falcons have an edge in this league, is they're able to field from so many different places and build kind of a Klamath Falls super team in a sense. It's the 1-2 to Sims is going to miss low and away. Count is 2-2. I mean, how many all-state guys, all-conference guys do the Falcons have on this team? And again, it's just talk about their experience. I talked about that earlier in the day. They certainly have the experience edge over this Philomath team. As the 2-2 on the way to Sims is a curveball that is just going to miss high. Sims might have been gifted that one, and the count runs full. Philomath, not a slouch, though. Of course, pretty much a regular postseason contender in the 4A classification. 3-2 pitch fouled off by Sims. He'll stick around to see another. This season, Philomath finished 14-13 in the 4A classification, 10-5 in the Oregon West Conference. That was enough to finish third in that league, and their 14th state ranking garnered them a playoff spot. We'll put a pause on that for just a moment as the 3-2 pitch comes to Carson Sims once more from the right hand of Nate Ardent. Misses away, and Sims works a walk. Bases loaded for Hunter Glidden. Philomath, for their one game in the postseason this year, it was a one-run loss to the eventual state champions, Marist Catholic, in the opening round of the playoffs. 7-6, the final score there. Here's Ardent. The delivery to Glidden. First pitch swinging, fouls it back, and the count's 0-1. It was in 2022 that the Philomath Warriors played host to the Henley Hornets in the, I believe, second round of the postseason. I'm going to pull this up here real quick. And I know it was a loss for Henley last time we were here. It was the last time I was at this stadium. At 12-4, May 25th, 2022 was the last time I was at this ball field. The Philomath Warriors defeated the Henley Hornets. Now, Philomath did play Henley early in the season, as we talk about the prep schools here, as that pitch is called a strike, 1-2. It was a pretty considerable loss to Henley back on March 24th, an 18-2 drubbing by the Hornets there. Ball and 2 strikes, the count at the plate. Here's the delivery home to Glidden. Curveball misses high and in, 2-2. Aboard at first is Sims. Aboard at second is Snell with Medeiros on at third. Nobody out. Top of the fourth inning, 13-0. The Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Philomath Fightin Jays. Here's the pitch, and that one misses upstairs. Thought that could have been a balk, too. Although, again, the balk rules can be kind of tricky sometimes. He's pitching out of the windup. He took a step like he was starting his motion, paused, took a deep breath, moved his shoulders, which I thought was kind of the indicator. But I suppose I'm wrong. He does it again. I suppose if it's part of your motion every time, they won't call it, which makes sense. If that's what you do, that's part of the rhythm. That makes sense. But count still full at the plate to Hunter Glidden. Putting up a good fight up there at the plate. Falcons have had good at-bats really all game long. And it's something that they've improved upon throughout the season, just always being able to put up a fight up there at the plate. The 3-2. Glidden swings over the top of it for strike 3, and there's one gone in the inning. So Glidden now 1 for 3 today with a couple of strikeouts after he goes down on that one, and now in steps Jacoby Tacchini. Started the game catching, has since moved over to first base. And on the day, He is 1 for 2 with a double in the first inning. He came in and scored then. Pitch to Takini, hits that one in the air to right field. Moving over is Bennett, and he makes the catch for the second out. Medeiros tags to score, and Snell tags from second to third and is in safely. So another sacrifice fly and an RBI for Takini. That's what I was getting at. Sacrifice in the third inning for him. Sacrifice in the fourth inning as well. He'll take it. And that is the second out in the inning, and it brings up Jacoby Nickerson. 2 gone, runners at the corners. Fresh count here to Nickerson. And the pitch. That one is going to be called a strike, 0-1. Falcons have added another 4 runs here in the fourth inning. Most runs they've scored in a single game this season is 15. And they are nearing that mark here as Nickerson takes one upstairs, 1-1. They've scored 15 runs twice this season, once on June 18th against North Jackson, and once in their last home game against the Medford Mavericks, 15-1 and 15-0 wins there. And right now they lead 14-1. Here's the 0-1 to Nickerson. That one is going to miss, down and in. Count is 2-1, I believe, to Nickerson, although the scoreboard here reads 1-1. After Nickerson in the order, it is Chase Barrett, back to where we started. The Falcons have already batted around twice in this game, and if Nickerson finds a way aboard, it'll make it 3 times in 4 innings. The 1-1 is going to miss down and in 3-1 the count now. Yep, 3-1. Umpire corrects him. I had it right up here in the box. 3-1 the count to Jacoby Nickerson. That's here from the left side for the Falcons. And the pitch. That one is going to miss, and there it is. Falcons have batted around for the 3rd time in 4 innings. Move Sims to second. Snell still at third. And in steps Chase Barrett, who singled and scored earlier this inning. Here's the pitch on the way. That one is going to hit Barrett. And a run comes in to score. 15-1 Falcons. Everyone else advances a station. Nickerson to second. Sims to third. Snell in to score. And here comes P.J. Safford. Safford singled earlier this inning. Came in to score in the 4th. He also walked and scored earlier in the ball game. Pitch in, and that one misses up to Safford. Count is 1-0. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the inning. Safford a chance to add some more here. Pitch from Ardent. Here it comes. That one's hit to center field, right to Harwood. Makes the catch, and that will end the inning. But the Falcons add 5 more here in the 4th. They lead by 15-1 as we go to the bottom half next on mybasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Rob, why do you think so many families choose Subaru here?
Because they're built for real life here in Southern Oregon.
All-wheel drive, safety, and room for everything from kids to camping gear.
And we've got Subarus in stock, ready to go when you are.
Plus, we're locally owned and deeply involved in the community.
When you buy from us, you buy from a dealership that supports Klamath Falls. Stop by and say hi.
Friendly, local, and easy to work with. That's us at Klamath Falls Subaru, right on Washburn Way.
Klamath Falls Falcons with a 15-1 advantage as we get set here for the bottom half of the 4th inning. Jacoby Nickerson now into the game at third base. And I think that's the only change here for the Falcons in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And I also think that means that everyone who could play today has as we approach the 4th inning. By the way, in a 9-inning game like this, mercy rule for the Falcons would be 10 after 7. And so right now they are in control in the bottom of the 4th inning, but no mercy rule after 5 for the Falcons today. They've got to hang on to this lead for just a couple of innings longer than usual, as it looks like Philomath going to start getting their subs in as well. Apologies if it takes me a moment to identify some of these guys, as the lineup card I got today is just a bit fainter. So just give me a moment to try to read some of these names. As stepping in now is number 17 for the Fightin Jays. First pitch from Hayden Poor is called a strike, 0-1. So here we've got Oliver DeMasi, and he swings over the top of strike 2. So DeMasi hitting in the place here of Altishan. The 0-2 from Hayden Poor, a curveball, got him looking, strike 3 called, and there's one gone in the 4th inning. Always interesting to see how a pitcher comes back after a long half inning on the bench. You know, Poor was, a 5-run inning that probably was 15 minutes of real time or more. And you're sitting on the bench. It's a warm day, so that probably helps him, but just trying to stay warm can sometimes be a challenge, as the first pitch to Cam Herbert is fouled off, 0-1. Herbert 0 for 1 in the ball game today. He flew out, and that was in the 2nd inning. We've got the umpire pointing towards the Falcons' dugout. I think he's got to ask for some game balls, maybe? Or was there something hanging over the fence? I'm not entirely sure, but regardless, it looks like we're about ready to continue here. And that one's going to miss outside. 1-1, the count to Cam Herbert. Batting from the left side, the delivery to Herbert, 1-1, misses upstairs, 2-1. Well, it's about this time of a 15-1 ball game that broadcaster starts to really try to dig deep and find some things to talk about. It's a 2-1 pitch on the way to Herbert is fouled straight back. So I'm going to do just that. One of our sponsors, Geno's on East Main Street, they're celebrating their 40th anniversary this year. And if you go down there, I believe this is coming up, Thursday this week. So you want to get signed up for this tonight or tomorrow. Go to ilovegenos.com. It's their 40th anniversary burrito eating contest. As the 2-2 pitch swung on and missed down in the dirt. Count, that was a strike 3, and now it's 2 outs in the inning for Mason Bennett. And so the deal is you go and you sign up at ilovegenos.com. They're going to pick 5 people who signed up to try and eat as many burritos as they can in, I believe it's 5 burritos in a certain time limit, or if you can finish 5 breakfast burritos. All the terms and conditions are on their website. As the pitch comes in and is swung on and missed by Mason Bennett, and the count is 0-1. And so it got me thinking, how would I compete in a burrito eating contest? The 0-1 pitch to Bennett is swung on and missed, 0-2. We might have to carry this one to the top of the 5th inning, which doesn't hurt my feelings at all. But I think if you go, the hard thing is the burritos I like from Geno's have just a bunch of different stuff in them. Here's the 0-2, swung on and missed. We will continue the burrito talk in the top of the 5th inning as the Falcons lead 15-1 against the Philomath Fightin Jays next on 104.3 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Over the last year, you've heard and seen the advertisement for God's Gifts 2, a local photographer who travels to high school sporting events and takes individual and team action photos at a great price. Something you may not know, though, is that the money from God's Gifts Photography supports 6 children in Kenya who Annalisa has met on mission trips. If you'd like to capture your athlete in action and help support these kids, call 541-281-2206. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook.
Looking for insurance from someone who truly understands rural Klamath? Meet Gabby Haskins, a licensed agent for Country Financial, born and raised in Merrill with deep roots in agriculture and the local way of life. Whether you're protecting your family farm, homes, vehicles, businesses, Gabby's here to help. She offers trusted, personalized insurance for farm, life, home, auto, commercial, and retirement needs at Gary Sheen's Country Financial office in Merrill. Stop by today and see why Merrill residents trust one of their own. Country Financial, here to help you experience more in Merrill.
Bottom of the fifth inning, the Klamath Falls Falcons lead a score of 15-1 here from Stevenson Field on the campus of Philomath High School. New pitcher on the mound for Philomath is Jace Altishan. He takes over on the mound, taking over his spot in left field. I believe is Demasi, who replaced him in the batting order in the last half inning. Haven't been able to see him turn around to replace that. We're also going to see a new center fielder making his way out there. Let's try to identify number 42 here for the Fightin Jays. Give me just a moment. Austin Davis taking over in center field. So a couple of changes there for Philomath as we get going in the bottom of the fifth inning. It'll be the bottom third of the Falcons' order due up with right now reads Rogers, Medeiros, and Snell. And finishing up the warm-up tosses there, I was starting a real riveting conversation with myself in the bottom half of the last inning about the Geno's 40th anniversary burrito eating contest. It's all a part of their March to 1,000,000 burritos, which is another thing that you can do with them. You can place your bets, so to speak, as to see which day the 1,000,000th burrito will be sold at Geno's. And if you're right on the day or closest to it, I believe the prize is free burrito every week for a year. And then there's also whoever buys the 1,000,000th burrito, I believe, gets the same payout, which is a burrito per week for the rest of the year, or for a year, rather, which is a pretty sweet deal. I got to say, I'm a big fan of the Geno's breakfast burritos. And well, they're doing that burrito eating contest, which is going to begin Thursday this week. Our very own Jay Davis from the radio station, by the way, our family of radio stations, of course, ourselves at 104.3 960 Sports, under the same house of 92.5 KLAD, 99.5 The Fox, 94.9 The Rock, 1150 KAGO, and 98.5 Big. And so Jay Davis, works at KLAD, as I do myself. He's going to be out there on Thursday at Geno's with live coverage of this burrito eating contest as Max Rogers gets ready to settle in here for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Rogers blasted a double and came in to score in his only at-bat of the ballgame so far, as he's the first task for Jace Altishan out of the pin, and that one is taken high and in for ball one. Looks like we've also got a new catcher into the game. I think Mason Bennett is now catching as well for Philomath. And the pitch in is going to hit Rogers. He is aboard at first. And so in steps Colby Medeiros, who singled his last time up as well. Medeiros singled and scored in the fourth inning, in which the Falcons added 5 runs. So again, back to burritos. It's an ever-important topic here. I don't know what kind of burritos they're going to be serving at Geno's, although I feel if you want to efficiently eat as many as you can, I mean, what do you put in a burrito? Like a hot dog is easy. You just dip it in water, soak up the bun, and it pretty much does the work for you. But a burrito is bigger and has more ingredients. So, like, do you just want eggs in it? Do you just want maybe sausage in it? Try to emulate the hot dog? But the sausage is going to be broken up if they do it right. You want to cut that thing up. So that doesn't really make sense. You wouldn't go with my favorite pick. My favorite breakfast burrito at Geno's is the chicken fried steak burrito. You couldn't eat that thing fast. 2-0 the count right now to Colby Medeiros. He watches that one miss upstairs, and the count is 3-0 to Colby. And on deck is Mason Snell. Although I would try my best to be able to get free chicken fried steak burritos every week for a year. I mean, that prize is undeniable as Medeiros takes a strike there, 3-1. So I got to get the rest of the details on that. I mean, gets me thinking, though, if we had a burrito eating contest for the Klamath Falls Falcons, who might come out on top? 3-1 pitch fouled back. The count is full, 3-2. I mean, boys of this age can certainly pack it away. And I seen him do it between games, by the way. I mean, not burrito eating contest between games, but I mean, I've seen these guys walk out from a concession stand between games of a doubleheader with 2 hot dogs in their hands, and I'm thinking, how are you even mobile after that? The 3-2 pitch is lifted into the air, foul. Count remains 3-2. I know I would be completely immobilized after like 1 hot dog. I think that's called nap time in my house, especially if you mix in any type of carbonated beverage. You got walking back there with a cup full of soda too, no chance at me staying awake any longer. The 3-2 pitch to Medeiros, ground ball out to short. It skips over the shortstop and into center field. And kind of an awkward hop at shortstop. It looked like it was going to stay down, and once it hit the dirt, it kicked up over the shortstop's shoulder. Probably a hit. There's not really anything the shortstop could do as Rogers advances, and Medeiros on with his second hit of the day, and in steps Mason Snell. Snell walked and scored his first time up. First one on the way to Mason Snell is called a strike. 0-1. I think my money would be on, let's see, maybe Ty Teeters for a burrito eating contest. Maybe PJ for a burrito eating contest. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one misses upstairs, 1-1. If we could nominate the coaches, I think we could put them in the mix too. But we gotta make this happen. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Geno's wants to provide like 100 burritos to see if we can get a Falcons burrito eating contest going. But I mean, could be something I'd pay to see. The 1-1 pitch is called an inside strike. 1-2. Who else we got down there? Colin, Jacoby. They could be pretty good in a contest like that, I think. Jacoby Nickerson, another one comes to mind. Here's the 1-2. That one is called a strike. Rung up Mason Snell on the curveball looking. A nice pitch that time from Jace Altition for the first out here in the 5th. We go back to the top of the Falcons order for Carson Sims. I think Sims could be a sneaky contender, by the way, for the burrito eating contest. My money might actually be on him. Pitch on the way to Carson Sims. That one is swung on and missed. Count is 0-1. I don't know, though. You might, if you extend it to the broadcast booth as well, I think I might be able to outpace all these guys in the burrito eating game, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. We have to put it to the test. Putting it out there. The 0-1 pitch to Carson Sims. That's a curveball nicely broken off by Altition again. The count is 0-2. Throw back to the pitcher. Got away from him a little bit. There's a shadow that's kind of overhanging. It's from a tree off to our right side that's overhanging the pitcher's mound, and so makes it a little bit tough for the pitcher to see the ball coming back. Also gives the pitcher a little bit of advantage because the ball is in a shadow about halfway to home plate, and so it makes it tough for the hitters with that depth perception to make up what pitch is coming. The 0-2 on the way to Sims with 2 men on and 1 man out, bounces to the plate, and the count is 1-2 to Carson. Again, he walked his first time up, otherwise he's 2 for 3 on the day. After Sims in the order, it's Hunter Glidden. Pitch on the way, the 1-2. That one is ripped down the line, fair and into left field. Rogers gets the green light to score, and he does, and an RBI single for Carson Sims makes it 16-1 Falcons, the most runs the Falcons have scored in a game this season. Runners at first and second, top of the 5th inning, and in steps Hunter Glidden. Pitch to Glidden is lifted foul off the left side and out of play. Count is 0-1. Okay, here's the 0-1 pitch. I had to make a couple notes there, but here we go. 0-1, the count to Hunter Glidden. Altition delivers. That pitch is going to miss low, and the count is 1-1. Glidden struck out his last time up. Otherwise, he singled in the third and struck out in the second. Pitch on the way from Altition. It's chopped foul down the left side. Count is a ball and 2 strikes. After Glidden, in the order is Jacoby Tacchini with 1 out here in the 5th. And we need some game balls, it looks like. Okay. Jacoby Tacchini with the save there on the game balls. We also had a coach coming out for Philomath, but couldn't make the cut. All right. Glidden digs back in for a 1-2. Here's the pitch. Glidden hits one deep to left field. Going back is Demasi. That one is going to one-hop and over the wall. A ground rule double, and so with that they give, I believe, Sims third. Medeiros scores, and Hunter Glidden with a ground rule double and an RBI makes it 17-1 Falcons. And for Hunter this season, that is his second double of the year and his third RBI. And here steps in Jacoby Tacchini. That pitch drops in for a strike. Another curveball there from Altition. And the count is 0-1. 1 out in the inning. 2 men in scoring position with Sims at third. And Glidden at second. The pitch in. Tacchini rips it into left field and a single. They are going to wave Glidden into score after Sim touches home, and they're both in. 19-1 Falcons on the 2 RBI single from Jacoby Tacchini. Bats just continue to roll right along today. And in steps Jacoby Nickerson. "19 runs here in this contest for the Falcons. This is their most in a single game since, pulling this up here, since July 13th of last season. In that game, they scored 20 runs against the Phoenix Pirates, a 20-8 win for the Falcons. And before that, a game against the Salem Dodgers, 19-2 on July 10th. Count is 1-1. That pitch misses away. 2-1. The count to Jacoby Nickerson. Last time Nickerson came up, he walked and was left stranded in scoring position in the 4th inning. Set on the hill is Altition. And the pitch is going to miss outside. 3-1. After Nickerson in the order is Chase Barrett. No, it looks like, nope, that is Barrett. Thought they might have inserted Hamilton back into the 5 spot, but Barrett's in the on-deck circle. The 3-1 is ripped into right field. Coming in to make the catch and does so successfully is, I believe Demasi is out there in right field. And he makes the catch out there, so apologies, can't quite spot who's in left, but I saw him turn around, spotted the number 7, and there he is. Demasi is in right, makes the catch for the second out, and in steps Chase Barrett. First pitch to Barrett, swung on and missed. Count is 0-1. Jacoby Tacchini aboard here at first. And for the Falcons, 4 more runs here in this inning. That pitch misses outside. Count is a ball and a strike to Chase Barrett. P.J. Safford is on deck. Altition takes a look at Tacchini before coming set. Now motions home. The curveball drops in for a strike. And it's 1-2 against Chase Barrett. 19-1 our score. 4 runs in the first for the Falcons, 6 in the third, 5 in the fourth, and 4 more here in the 5th. The 1-2 is hit to center field. Davis going back. That one is over his head and to the wall. Tacchini turning second, headed for third. They wave him in. And all the way from first, Jacoby Tacchini will score, and the Falcons lead 20-1. An RBI double for Chase Barrett extends the Falcons' lead. So in comes P.J. Safford, and for the fourth time in 5 innings, the Falcons have bat around as Safford steps in. Tough day to get outs for the Philomath pitching staff. The Falcons haven't even really had that many errors to take advantage of or walks to speak of all that much. Safford lines one into center field on the first hit. They hold Barrett at third. But runners at the corners now for Max Rogers. Timeout. Nope, no timeout. I thought I heard the umpire call for it, but I was mistaken as PJ gets aboard there, and Max Rogers, who led off this inning by being hit by a pitch. For the Falcons today, 15 hits. They have used 4 Fightin J's errors, and I suppose I stand corrected on the walks. There's been 9 walks issued to the Falcons today. I thought that number was closer to 5 or 6, but 9, that tends to come back and bite you a bit as the first pitch to Rogers called on the inside part of strike. He falls behind here 0-1. On deck is Colby Medeiros, hoping for a second chance this inning. The 0-1. A curveball called a strike, 0-2. Altician's had that bender working, by the way. Not a bad pitch at all to get ahead. It's the fastball that the Falcons have been waiting on and punishing in this inning. Altician comes set with the 0-2. We'll see if he goes back to it again. He does. This time, though, misses behind the hitter. 1-2. All right. Digging in here is Max Rogers. Hits one in the air to left, and that one is going to drift foul. Count remains 1-2. Gets the ball back out there. The 1-2. Curveball misses up. 2-2. Bottom third of the order has gotten on almost every single time they've had a chance to so far today. The 2-2, and it doesn't change now, as for the second time this inning, Rogers is hit by a pitch, and that one loads the bases as Safford advances to second. Rogers aboard, staying put at third is Chase Barrett. And here is Colby Medeiros. Medeiros, earlier this inning, singled and came in to score. And pretty good afternoon for him thus far. Falcons lead by 19 here in the 5th inning. And the bases remain loaded for Colby Medeiros. Pitch to Medeiros. First pitch swinging. Hits that one in the air. Shallow center field. Center fielder races in, but it drops between everybody for a base hit. 2 more runs come in to score. Safford from second. And Barrett from third. And it's a 22-0 ball game. And runners are at the corners. After the base hit from Medeiros, it also advances Rogers to third as the runs come in. So here is Mason Snell. The pitch is going to hit him, and it loads the bases. So that moves Medeiros to second. Rogers stays at third. And the bases are loaded here for Carson Sims. Earlier this inning, he singled in a run and would later score. Boy, my scorecard is looking pretty illegible right now with how many times the Falcons have batted around. But we'll make it work. Not complaining. But let me tell you, if I turn this in as a report card for homework, the teacher would give me an F because they couldn't read it. The pitch to Sims. Lofted into the air left side. Playable in foul territory, but no one could get to it. It's going to be strike one, a 1-1 count to Sims. After Sims in the order is Hunter Glidden. 7 runs home here in the 5th for the Falcons. Altishon set on the hill. And the pitch is hit in the air to center field. Davis will make the catch and put an end to the 5th inning. But the Falcons add 7 more and leave the bases loaded. It's a 22-1 ball game. To the bottom of the 5th we go next on mybasin.com.
The Klamath Basin is beautiful, from shimmering Klamath Lake to rich farmlands to the historic downtown. And with an average of over 300 days of sunshine every year, the Klamath Basin is a great place to be. We here at Basin Media Active have been supporting this community for many years, keeping it entertained and informed with friendly faces and familiar voices. You can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, stream live local sports, and check out our community calendar, all on our website, mybasin.com. And you can download our app for free in your app store right now. Basin Media Active, local, community, engaged.
New pitcher into the game for the Klamath Falls Falcons to start the bottom of the 5th inning. It looks like it's Jacoby Nickerson, although no, I think that's Harley Hoblet out there wearing the number 15 for the Falcons. And so that is Hoblet. He is into the game, taking over for Hayden Poor, who would be online for a win. Should the lead hold for the Falcons, it would end it in a mercy rule, and it would give Hayden Poor the win. We'll give you the final line score on him as Harley Hoblet gets ready to face number 42 here for Philomath. He sends one into the air to left field, and it is caught by Barrett. There's one gone in the inning as Davis is retired. Hayden Poor exits the game after pitching 4 innings, allowing 2 hits and a run, and striking out 5 batters. Stepping in now is number 23 here for the Philomath Fighting Jays. Batting from the right side. Number 23 is Dylan Martin. So Martin in here, hitting the 9th spot in place of Moravez, who was 0 for 1 today. Is Harley Hoblet. Throws with the lefty, and that one's called a strike. Hoblet bats from the right side, throws with the left. Here's the pitch. That one misses up. 1-1. Makes you think, can he hit from the left side too? If he tries, could he have that little switch hitter action if he wanted to? The 2-1. Swung on and missed. 3-1. 2-2. I've come to find that a lot of guys who are lefty tend to be ambidextrous in a lot of sports. And the 2-2 in, misses upstairs. Now it's 3-2. So I'd be curious about Harley. Same for Jacoby, another left-handed thrower for the Falcons. Left-handed hitter as well. He'd be curious if he could bat from the right side. The 3-2 pitch is going to be slow, and a one-out walk issued to Dylan Martin. So Martin aboard. We go back to the top here for, looks like this is number 7, which would be Deacon Johnson. So that pitch is called a ball outside, 1-0. Johnson batting here in the leadoff spot. hits in place of Parker Harwood, who was 0 for 2, although he did have an RBI today when he grounded out in the third, although Harwood, like I said, has been replaced by Johnson. Here's the pitch. Popped up left side of the infield. Looks playable for Nickerson at third, but he's called off by Sims, who makes the grab, and there's 2 outs in the inning. So here is Jace Iverson. Iverson 0 for 1 today. He flew out in the first, walked in the third. And here's the pitch. That one is going to be called a strike, low and away, 1-0. Falcons road trip continues tomorrow. A date with the Eugene Ole Athletics. The 1-0 fouled off, and the count is even, 1-1. The 1 run for Philomath came in the third inning. Since then, they've been held off the board. Here's the pitch from Hoblet. 2-seam fastball finds the upper third of the zone, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. On deck is Gavin Bennett, but Hoblet going to try to stop him here. The 1-2 is popped up foul. Count remains. Iverson, one of the few guys who's stayed in the same spot since the game has began. That's kind of between both teams. 1-2 misses up, 2-2. Even guys who've stayed in the lineup have shifted around positions, but the game's 2 shortstops, Carson Sims and Jace Iverson, have stayed put. The 2-2 from Hoblet is fouled back into the glove of Safford. I think that actually got behind him. I stand corrected, and the count is still a 2-strike count to Jace Iverson. Scoreboard here reads 3-2. So we'll make the change on my end. And here's the pitch from Hoblet. Pushed foul down the right side again. And the count remains full, 3-2. But for Martin, he wasn't running on the pitch. He was running on contact. So we'll see if he winds up going the first sight of Hoblet and the delivery. Harley comes set. And he motions home. Swung on and missed, and that'll do it in the 5th inning for Philomath. And we continue on here on 104.3 and 960 Sports in a 22-1 ball game.
Over the last year, you've heard and seen the advertisement for God's Gifts 2, a local photographer who travels to high school sporting events and takes individual and team action photos at a great price. Something you may not know, though, is that the money from God's Gifts Photography supports 6 children in Kenya who Annalisa has met on mission trips. If you'd like to capture your athlete in action and help support these kids, call 541-281-2206. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook.
Looking for insurance from someone who truly understands rural Klamath? Meet Gabby Haskins, a licensed agent for Country Financial, born and raised in Merrill, with deep roots in agriculture and the local way of life. Whether you're protecting your family farm, homes, vehicles, businesses, Gabby's here to help. She offers trusted, personalized insurance for farm, life, home, auto, commercial, and retirement needs at Gary Sheen's Country Financial office in Merrill. Stop by today and see why Merrill residents trust one of their own. Country Financial, here to help you experience more in Merrill.
Well, gang, I suppose I stand corrected. We've got a final score here from Stevenson Field at Philomath. It is a 22-1 final score as the mercy rule was invoked after the 5th inning. It's 22 runs on 16 hits for the Falcons. No errors for Philomath. 1 run on 2 hits. They commit 6 errors. The winning pitcher today for the Falcons is going to be Hayden Poor. For the Falcons today, Poor, as I pull up the final line score for you, for him, he pitched the first 4 innings of this game for the Falcons, and in doing so, allowed just 2 hits and a run. It was earned. He struck out 5. Harley Hoblet came in, slammed the door in 1 innings pitched. He did give up a walk, and he struck out 1. Losing pitcher today, Cameron Kavit, who worked 3 innings, gave up 8 hits, 10 runs. 8 of them were earned. He walked 5 and struck out 2. A couple of notables today for the Falcons. Gosh, it looks like just about everyone hit well in this one. Carson Sims, 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Hunter Glidden, 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Jacoby Takini, 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored and 4 RBIs. Let's see, Ian Meyer, 2 for 3, 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. We also got a hit from Chase Barrett, 2 from P.J. Safford, an RBI, 2 RBIs from Max Rogers today on a 1-for-1 afternoon. Colby Medeiros was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and everyone played so well today. 18 RBIs for the Falcons. You know what? Let's toss a new one in there. I'm going to go with Max Rogers, a guy who doesn't get a ton of chances but came through in the chances he got today. Rogers 1 for 1 with 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs. He also wore a couple heaters today. He was hit twice, and for that, Rogers is our Abby's Legendary Pizza player of the game. The Falcons improve in this one to 11-1 on the season. The Fightin' Jays fall to 2-4. Our next game for the Klamath Falls Falcons is tomorrow, 5 o'clock, a single game against the Eugene Ole Athletics. I'm going to hold off on calling it a 9-inning game because I was under the impression that today was going to be 9 innings, but we called it after 5. Typically, mercy rule invoked after 7 innings, 22-1. Maybe that plays into it too. But regardless, one game tomorrow, 5 o'clock against Eugene in Eugene, and I'll be on the call for you right here on 104.3, 960 Sports, and mybasin.com. Otherwise, that about does it for us tonight. My name is Josh Eldridge. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Falcons Baseball. Thanks to Coach Sean Teeters and the head coach of the Philomath Fighting Jays, Levi Weber. And thanks to you for joining us for another edition of Falcons Baseball. Back tomorrow afternoon at 5, but until then, so long and good night from Stevenson Field at Philomath High School.